Hello, Emily. Good morning, girl. How are you doing? Oh man, today is the 18th of March, 2019. Woo-wee, what a weekend. I had a grand time this weekend. This weekend was St. Patrick's Day. So did I mention that today was the 18th of March? So many interesting things going on in my life these days. So I went to St. Patrick's Day celebration with Lloyd and Suzanne, our friends, our family friends, yesterday, and we hung out a little bit at Rooney's Bar and Grill. I guess it's not called Rooney's anymore. It's like 805 or something like that. I've only been to that place like twice before, and it was for work functions. Someone was retiring, and it was during the lunch hour, and there were not very many people there. Let me tell you, it was really loud. They had a band playing, and people, I don't know, people were just talking really loud. How do people manage in situations like that? One of the small points I don't care for going to restaurants and such is just how loud sometimes these restaurants are. There's this style of eating now where it's in an industrial like space. So there's no carpet on the floor, there's no acoustic ceiling tiles, there's nothing to dampen the sound, and the sound just reverberates. And with sound reverberating and echoing, people talk louder in order to be heard. And so there's more reverberation, more echoing, and then people talk louder too, so that they can hear. And then people talk louder and louder and louder until people are nearly shouting. I have a hard time. For me, I'm all about a conversation. So I call myself a mild mannered conversationalist. And I thrive in conversation with other people. And but having a conversation depends on me hearing what the other person is saying. So, so I find that it's really hard to have conversations in those environments. And so I tend to stay away from them just because they're so loud. So I don't care for the loud restaurants or the loud bars. Um, One thing I've been kind of struggling with today was, I mean, yesterday was a really good example. There was a lot of physical activity I engaged in yesterday. I walked 2 times around the lower loop at La Prisma Mission. That was about a 6 mile walk. And then after that, I did some dancing, ecstatic dancing in San Luis Obispo, which I love doing. It's just a kind ecstatic dancing is a kind of unstructured dance. A structured dance is like salsa or waltz or foxtrot or tango. There's certain those structured dances have moves that are prescribed by dance instructors and by the forms of dance. But ecstatic dance has no such rules. You can move your body however you want to move it every minute of the dance, and I enjoy it because it's a lot of fun, and I don't have to memorize moves. And so here's the thing, though: there was a lot of activity yesterday, and I admit I became hungry. And I was like a Hoover vacuum cleaner. I was just cleaning up, just eating everything and everything. And so I've been struggling lately with sort of maintaining eating as vegan as I can, and I've been shifting over into vegetarianism. I mean, which is not too bad. And regrettably, occasionally I've been eating meat. So I'm trying to do better, and I'm struggling right now, particularly when it comes to desserts. So apparently, there's something about them that I crave. I love my chocolate. I love chocolate frosting. I love chocolate cake. I love chocolate chip cookies. There's nothing unusual or profound about these desires. It's just that I want to express them in a way that's healthy for my body. I want to be able to indulge in them in a way that's healthy for my body. And I think what I need to do is I need to experiment more with raw desserts. Raw desserts, I think, will give me the what I need, in the sense that just no matter what raw dessert I eat, I can be assured that at least it won't make me sick long term. I won't have heart attacks or high blood pressure or get cancer or anything if I eat raw desserts, right? That's like a fail safe right there. I think what raw desserts involve are lots of fruits, different types of sugar, maybe honeys or agave syrup, and nuts. So fruit sweeteners and nuts. I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. I think I can. In fact, when it comes to indulging, if I just indulge in fruits, sugar, and nuts, that'd be awesome. You see, when you eat regular desserts, other desserts like regular cakes and pies and cookies and stuff like that, frosting perhaps, what you end up eating is a lot of trans fats. Yeah. Polyunsaturated fats, saturated fats. You end up eating a lot of cholesterol, right? These things in general are just not good for you. They're not good for your body as it functions. Whereas if I ate raw desserts, there is no raw dessert that has cholesterol in it. There's no raw dessert that has a trans fat in it. So, I'm sure there are saturated fats in raw desserts, but I mean, it's not that bad, right? It doesn't sound that bad. So I think I'm going to try to eat more raw desserts. In fact, that's going to be a goal of mine for this week, and that is to focus on raw desserts. Now, there is an avenue I could take if I wanted to eat, say, cooked desserts. I could source ingredients that were more healthy. For example, when it comes to, say, frosting a cake, instead of choosing frostings with trans fats or cholesterol, with certain cholesterol containing dairy, what I could do, or even cholesterol containing eggs, what I could do is source vegan frosting, right? From, I don't know, Europe. I don't know. Where do they make vegan frosting? I don't know. It occurs to me that that could be expensive, real expensive, and that, it may not be as good. There might be other things. I don't know. It may not be as easy to source as just, say, eating a raw dessert. And I like the idea of eating raw desserts because, I have a feeling that raw desserts will involve things like figs, will involve things like not just figs, but also dates, you know, and honey. I mean, these are sweet, uh, eminently enjoyable foods. Fruits in general, fruits are absolutely enjoyable, packed with vitamins and minerals and fiber. That's right, fiber. How much frosting has fiber in it? You know, and so I think that's the solution that I need. I think that's the solution I need. I think I'm So anyway, I'm really glad I thought about this because I've kind of been struggling lately. Like I've been enjoying the food I eat, and it's sort of a flexitarian style. And there are compromises that I'm making when I eat that way. And um, in a way, it's kind of like a minor tragedy. It'd be nice for me, I would appreciate being a little more consistent when it comes to my eating style. So, and my eating behavior. Anyway, that's just something I've been contemplating lately. I've been trying to eat. I mean, here I am exercising a lot, right? Burning a lot of calories. And then I'm finding that I'm hungry and needing to make up those calories that I burn. And the fact is, in my food environment, the foods that are available and are easy to obtain are just not good for you. They're just not good for you. So, anyway, I've got this idea of eating more raw desserts. I think that's probably the key. And if I can teach myself to fixate on just a few desserts that I really love, like there might be a cashew nut butter out there that I love more than anything. Add a little cocoa powder and I'm good to go, right? I've got the mousse that I need. Or let's say another raw dessert might incorporate things like, I don't know, honey, which I love. I actually think honey is amazing. It's one of the most wonderful condiments. Now, technically, for some people, it is not a vegan condiment, but personally, I don't mind eating it so much. Um, Mainly because my veganism is focused on good health, or at least better health, compared to other people's veganism, which is more, the purpose is more related to protecting the rights of animals. Anyway, let's see what else is going on in my life. Well, I had a chance to go dancing. I went dancing this weekend twice. I went salsa dancing last Friday, and I went ecstatic dancing yesterday. So that's great. I've gotten to the point where my legs are strong enough that even after doing, say, 4 hours of exercise, right, walking for 2 hours and dancing for 2 hours, that my legs still are not tired. They're still good as new. And I love reaching that pinnacle of physical fitness. To me, that's pretty amazing. For a long time, I struggled dancing for 2 hours. And then I struggled dancing for 3 hours. And now I can shake my booty for like 4 hours and uh, not be concerned with any consequences. Just a regular day, and then do it again the next day. So I find that to be, for me, in my opinion, that is an amazing accomplishment. Super happy that I'm able to do that. So one other thing that I've been thinking about is I've been focusing on drawing lately. You've been receiving my texts that are movies of some of the things I've been drawing using the Procreate app on my iPad Pro. And I'm really interested in learning more about how to sketch and do drawings, cute little drawings on my iPad. And I've been interested in getting some guides, some Kindle ebook guides that might help me improve my technique. I'm also interested in using my Skillshare.com account to learn more about the Procreate app and how I can improve my drawing techniques. So that's something I'm paying attention to, and that's on my mind. Another thing that I'm paying attention to right now has to do with my hair. I know. My hair, I know, looks amazing. So here's the thing. I am trying to go for a more natural look. That's right. What does that mean? It means I'm going to go wild, baby. Well, I don't know if I'll be totally wild, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use less product in my hair. That is, less hairspray, less gel, less basically hair dressings, fewer hair dressings. And not only I think will this be economical, but I think that I might look better. You see, most of my life, pretty much all of my life, my hair has been highly controlled. It's been cut so that it was very short. For years, I've had the shortest hair. In fact, there was a time when I was even cutting my own hair, and I was cutting it super duper short. And I think occasionally I'd get compliments. I would get comments perhaps from other people suggesting that I looked a little bit monk-like. And yeah, thankfully that's gone. Um, so the hair, the the time of the tightly controlled hair is gone. It's just gone. In fact, for me, like I mentioned, I'm more interested in the natural look now, and so I'm going to let my hair fly, baby. So what does that mean? What does it mean? It means change and becoming more accepting and accustomed to change in the way that my hair looks in the moment, every moment. And it's going to require some flexibility, different. It's going to require a different opinion about, um, you know, what my expectations are for how my hair performs throughout the day. Miguel, does your hair perform? It sure does. It performs every day, every minute of every day. So, I'll be just figuring out ways to sort of accept whatever form or shape my hair takes. So I'm excited about that. That's a pretty amazing change. I think that's going to be an improvement. I think that when it comes to hair, people focus a lot on, say, prim and proper type hairstyles. And, well, that's fantastic. They often look very good. I think I'm going to try to take a ride on the wild side, take a walk on the wild side. Yeah. So we're going to make that change. Other changes that are going on right now. I've been really focused on weightlifting lately. In fact, I've been weightlifting 5 days a week. Loving it. It's a big part of my life now. I've been doing that. This is going to be the 4th week that I've done this. So I'm coming to having this pattern in my behavior operating for about a month now. A full month. So I'll be able to, I make changes as I go and make improvements. One aspect of my focus on weightlifting is making sure that I get enough protein during the day. That's right. And this is a particularly exciting part of my life right now, my protein consumption. Now, the purpose of higher protein consumption is maintaining an anabolic state in my body to ensure that my muscles continuously have the amino acids they need to build themselves up. And what is exciting about the decision to always be in an anabolic state is sort of a recognition about how I might be meeting my genetic potential. There are genetic limits to everything, and by this body that I have been operating, for my entire life, has its own genetic potentials. And I think that when I max out, say, the consumption of protein during the day, that my genes will get the message, right? They're going to be my genes in my cells will be triggered to sort of deliver whatever proteins they want to manufacture. They will have the opportunity to manufacture them. There will be no limit to the amount of amino acids that are circulating in my bloodstream. And so these cells, will have the opportunity to build whatever proteins they want to build at any single moment. And so that, for me, is actually quite exciting to have that. Basically, I'm giving my DNA the opportunity to operate that way it would in an ideal environment filled with amino acids. So I'm kind of curious about how that's going to unfold in reality, how my finding this genetic potential, of course, not only am I eating sufficient protein for my body, but I'm also exercising every day. See, when it comes to body improvement, reaching your genetic potential, it's not about just about eating protein. If only if it were so easy. the the protein was like the gateway to a new transformed body. Fact is, it's not. In fact, I've got perfectly good evidence to share. Um, for the longest time, for actually quite a long time, I was doing low carb dieting. I was a low carb eater. I did Atkins diet. I did ketogenic diet. I did paleo for a long time. Oh, years. I probably spent 3 or 4 years cycling in and out of paleo and low carb diets. And I can tell you one important thing about those diets. Those diets that were mainly protein, right? Eating mainly meat and maybe even some dairy. I can tell you for a fact that my body composition didn't change that much. I know. I was overweight at the time because the purpose for my low carbing was to lose weight. And I did lose a little weight, low carbing. I probably lost about 10 pounds. And which was great. I mean, I can't deny having lost 10 pounds, which is wonderful. The only fact was I probably needed to lose 50. Ideally, it would have been great for me to have lost 50 pounds. And the fact was, as a low carber, doing strictly low carb, losing that extra 40 pounds was just not going to happen, or the 50 pounds was not going to happen. I literally had to reduce my caloric intake. And that's what I've been doing lately. And that's the reason I'm thin, right? And I have a low body fat percentage, which is great. So, low carbing, I mean, eating lots of protein is one thing. And everyone will see some minor benefit just from that alone. But as to whether it's significant or not, well, likely it's probably not going to be that significant. So why do I think now that this time is different? Well, because I'm exercising. That's the key. That's the golden key that opens the door to reaching my genetic potential from a muscular bodily standpoint. The fact that I'm working out 5 days a week in the gym. And so it's the combination of eating adequate protein and hitting the gym every day, every weekday. So I've got those habits established. I've got those habits established. And so happy day, definitely time to celebrate. And so I'm looking forward to good things happening. And I have a feeling that good things are happening. And what's actually also quite cool is that not only am I exercising, eating adequate protein, but I'm also calorie counting. So, I mean, come on, you put those three things together and something good is bound to happen. So, I'm excited about all the power I'm really about to get some serious traction when it comes to improving my physique, improving my health. If I increase my muscle mass, that means I need less insulin, and my blood glucose levels will fall on average, and just being stronger will mean that the protein will help me. The protein will help me get stronger every day in the gym, every time that I work out. So my guess is that I will um, find improvements. There will be more rapid increases in my strength levels over time because I'm getting adequate protein. And my genes, because of this protein and exercise combination, my genes will be able to sort of express themselves in ways that they've never been expressed before. And so excited to turn on all these genes related to anabolic um, anabolism. Is that what you call it? Anabolism? So, anyway, I'm happy to know that that's about to happen. This body's about to change, baby. So, I'm excited. So, I've got the natural look coming and I've got my braces coming off soon. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that my braces come off in about a month or two. I've had braces on my teeth for 14 months. I know. That's been a long time. I'm with you. And I'm really ready to get these braces off so I can bite into an apple again. That's right. In fact, that's one of the things that I miss the most. I want to be able to bite into foods that, I basically took for granted. Of course, nowadays I still eat a lot of those foods that I ate in the past. I just break them down with a knife and fork first into small pieces. You know, I could pretty much eat anything. Although one thing I am staying away from is nuts. Now, I'm staying away from whole nuts, right? Nuts that I have to break down with my teeth because the hardware, my braces hardware, I'm concerned about it breaking because, well, it has in the past. The things that seem to really impact my braces are things like corn nuts and peanuts, stuff like that. They get in my braces and they cause trouble. They start breaking the brackets and stuff like that. Now I still eat nuts. How I've been eating nuts though has changed. I pretty much just eat nut butters now. So instead of eating sunflowers or sunflower seeds, I'll eat a sunflower seed butter. Or instead of eating almonds, I'll eat an almond butter. Or instead of eating cashews, I'll have a cashew butter. Or instead of eating peanuts, I'll have a peanut butter. So I'm able to get my nut intake, which is great because I love nuts. Oh, sorry about all the yawning. Oh, sorry about all the yawning. I don't know what is up. It might be that my brain is a little bit tired. Um, I don't know. I think I got adequate sleep last night. I was in bed by 9:40 p.m., which is not too bad. So, anyway, I'm curious about how you're doing. What's going on in your life now? We had an instant message conversation, and you spoke to me about the fact that yesterday or the day before you were making bread. That's right. You had just come in from a run on Saturday and you were baking bread so that you could make sandwiches and pack them in your lunches in the afternoons for the afternoons. Wow, that's fantastic. Believe it or not, I pack my meals, my sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, pretty much. At least during the weekdays, I do. On the weekends, watch out, especially if I get hungry. I'll go to restaurants and regrettably order anything off the menu. So, as you can tell, I regret that. I know. Anyway, I want to get better at on weekends eating healthy in a healthy way. And weekdays, I have no choice. Sometimes, I mean, I'm up and at 'em and I'm out the door and I want to have my lunch and dinner prepared. My lunch, especially. And so the only way to get that done in a reasonable fashion and that is to deal with my lunch break, and the food that I eat on it is to pack my lunch. And I've been packing my lunch for years, and I love it. I love packing my lunch. What that means is basically I can eat lunch at my desk, and I could finish my lunch in 10 or 15 minutes, or basically 10 minutes. And it's such a time saver. It leaves my lunch hour open for any activity I want for that duration, and it's great. So I love having that free time. I could go to the gym and work out. Everything's nice because of that. There's something about packing your lunch which is really powerful. It's a powerful way to manage your time. And it's also, I think, a powerful way to take care of your health. There was a time when I was younger when I would go out to eat with my coworkers at restaurants. And while that was enjoyable, spending time with all those people, I loved the conversations we had. It just wasn't that healthy. The fact is, the food at restaurants is basically not under my control. And I eat whatever is being available, whatever is being served. And sometimes what is being served are, well, basically are not the healthiest foods in the world. So, anyway, I'm glad I'm not going to restaurants all the time. It was also quite expensive. Restaurants are expensive places to eat. Speaking of eating, um, I just bought a ticket to go to a family camp in Santa Cruz in, what is it? Um, in July. I think it's July. And this coming July, I'm going to be spending 2 weeks camping. Super stoked about that. I mean, wow. When I think about that, the experiences I'm going to have, it's going to be awesome. I love hanging out with my tribe, with all my friends. Camping together means that we are jiving and kicking back and enjoying each other's company. And it's just the kind of thing I like. It's a great way to cement relationships and, focus on the good in our lives, right? Take a break and just relax and just enjoy what's going on in the world. So I'm looking forward to going camping for 2 weeks in Santa Cruz in July. I'm also looking forward. There's something else that happened. Oh yeah, I just bought plane tickets to go visit my family in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think it's going to be the last week of May. See, my birthday's on the 27th of May, and so I go visit my family about that time. It's also Mother's Day, so that's notable. Oh, so looking forward to all that. What else is going on in my life right now? Hmm. So my yoga class ended. I know. I loved yoga class. I was just fine doing it. I found that because I was strong, I had strong muscles, that the yoga class was actually pretty easy. And I think I learned a lot from going to yoga on a regular basis. And I think I have a better sense of what I might enjoy about it. And I think I'm going to start going to the YMCA. I think my local YMCA has yoga classes. There's a YMCA in Lompoc, a YMCA in Santa Maria, and a YMCA in um, I was gonna say Buellton, and then I said no, it's not there. And then I was gonna say Solvang, but it's not there either. It's Santa Ynez. There's a YMCA in Santa Ynez, and so I got three local YMCA's. Heck, I've got a YMCA in San Luis Obispo and a YMCA in Santa Barbara. So what that is that they are offering yoga classes. So that's awesome. I really need to take advantage of some of those classes. Do some yoga. Now that I've got a yoga outfit and I've got a yoga mat, I should definitely take up the YMCA and do stuff like that. In fact, this week would be a great chance to do it. Why? Because I'm on spring break. That's right, Allen Hancock College. Spring break is right now. Normally, tonight, Monday night, I would have my welding class. And Wednesday night, I'd have a welding class, but not this week. The reason is because, well, it's spring break and my classes are canceled. Now, I do have a midterm exam next Monday, which is in 7 days. And so I really need to study. I really need to study for this test. So tonight, in fact, would be a good time to start studying, get my study materials together, make sure that I ace that midterm exam for my welding class. Yeah, yeah, definitely got to do that. Oh, man, I've just been having so much fun lately. One thing that I recognize is that I have been spending a lot of time in the car driving. And so it's sort of tricky. You know, I know that I can have a good time without doing a lot of driving. And I also know that I can have a lot of fun driving around and visiting places. So there's like this, I don't know, there's this like this equation or this trade-off, right? How do I maximize my safety and yet maximize the amount of time I have having fun? You know, I mean, I can have plenty of fun and not drive anywhere. There's like an optimal amount of driving that suits me throughout the week as I go to places and enjoy myself, enjoy my time there at those places. And I really need to figure that out. I don't know. I don't know. I wish driving on the road was less dangerous, you know? I so wish for autonomous vehicles to arrive on the scene and save me from myself. I definitely want to be safer on the roads. And I know autonomous vehicles will get us there. It's taking Waymo a long time to extend their services to the Central Coast of California. It may be a couple more years yet until Waymo has some kind of nationwide service, or at least some kind of Southern California service. Thankfully, Arizona is close to California. Arizona is where Waymo has, um, a business. I think it's in Phoenix where they'll shuttle people from point A to point B using their autonomous vehicles. I know that they'll probably go from Phoenix to Los Angeles pretty quick, and that'll definitely be an amazing test case for those autonomous vehicles. If they could survive in the traffic in Los Angeles, as far in my mind, they could pretty much do anything. So I'm looking forward for that autonomous vehicle technology to come to the fore so I can reduce the risk associated with me driving everywhere. So let's see. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go into my question and answer period. I've got my handy dandy Kindle here, and I can ask a few questions about to myself, and you can hear the answers. All right. Okay, what photos do you cherish from the past? And where do you keep them now? So that's question number 306. What photos do you cherish from the past and where do you keep them now? All right, so my family has a lot of photos and they've actually posted a lot of those photos on Facebook, but they haven't posted most of them. I mean, there's, I'm sure, a lot of photos that have not been posted yet on Facebook or social media. And so I don't actually have access to those photos. They are part of the family stash of photos, the family cache. And I just don't have access to them. My mom or my brothers have access to those photos. I actually also have relatives who have access to photos. So I do not have access to those photos. Um, I do have some photos. A lot of the photos I have of my family are photos that are on social media, like they're on Facebook. And so that's where they are. I do have personal photos. Your mom, Emily, your mom, Sheila, has um, a case of old photos that we took when you were younger. And that reminds me, I do have to ask her so if I can pick up that case and duplicate those CD-ROMs and DVDs. Yeah, I really need to do that. And let's see what else. Other photos I have that are valuable to me, they're up in the cloud. I have photos. I've got some on an external hard drive here. I got some on old computers. And I got photographs on my iPad Pro. So I got photographs all over the place. That's where I keep them. Now, which photos do I cherish? I pretty much cherish all of them. I love to reminisce about the past, and looking at photos is no exception. In fact, it's pretty much an obsession of mine. It's not an obsession, of course, not a real one. But I do enjoy looking at photos of the past. They are stark reminders about times when I've enjoyed myself, and I recognize them as such. They bring me joy. They remind me about what's good in my life. All right. Question number 307. Was there ever a time when it turned out that you were right, in spite of many others who thought otherwise? Explain the situation. I think I asked that question before. I don't have an answer to that. Okay, question number 309. When was the last time you played hooky? Explain the situation. Okay, so now that I work full time, there's no such thing as playing hooky. If there was a such thing as playing hooky, well, they're just dancing. So what that means is any time off that I want, I take as sick leave or vacation time. And so you might ask me, which might be a better question, when was the last time I took vacation time at my workplace? And well, the last time was a fun time. I took a day off. I think it was Friday. It wasn't last Friday, but it was the Friday before. And I went with my friend to Six Flags Magic Mountain, and we went to Six Flags all day long and then went dancing on State Street at Velvet Jones nightclub in Santa Barbara. And that was just 2 weeks ago. I had a fantastic time all day long. I got some photographs, in fact, that I've got to share with my friend. But that was the last time I played hooky. And what that means is that I just asked for some vacation time, which I had earned previously. And so, yeah. So the situation, the question asks, explain the situation. Well, the fact is that my friend was available to go to an amusement park on Friday, and I was not. And so I just asked for that time off from work, and I got that time made available to me. So that's great. I wouldn't call that playing hooky, though. All right. Next question. Question number 310. As a child, what was your idea of fun? Oh, this is a fantastic question. So that's actually Let me throw out some ideas that some ways of me having fun in the past. One way that I used to have fun was to practice my playing an instrument, playing my trumpet. That was fun. I played trumpet. I guess I started playing trumpet maybe fourth grade, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh grade. I was in band. Um, so playing my trumpet was something that I would do for fun. Another thing I would do for fun, play outside with my brothers or just play outside by myself, exploring and walking around the mesa and trying to avoid stepping on cactus and just walking. I grew up in an agricultural area, Taos, New Mexico. I was outside of the city. I was kind of in farmland, and that's where we lived. And man, let me tell you, that sure did make a difference. I really loved that experience of sort of just walking around and as a child, having so much freedom, having the world as my playground. It was so fun. Oh my gosh, those are such good days. I know. I really cherish my early childhood. I had so much fun. Anyway, riding my bike was something I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed riding my bike down to the candy store. We had candy stores. I don't know if we, I don't know if people have candy stores anymore. I mean, we've got 7-Elevens, right? The candy stores that I had access to were not 7-Elevens. They were literally run by mom and pop stores. They were, who knows what they were. They were just little shops. Um, and people sold candy out of these little shops. I know, I don't understand it either. Why would anyone do that? So yeah, these are just the candy shops that I've had access to when I was a young boy. So it was not 7-Eleven, it was not Circle K, but people had candy shops back then. So I would ride my bike to the candy shop and I'd buy some candy. So I love doing that. Sometimes I would love it. I'd ride my bike out to the dips, which was a place where there were lots of hills that were manicured for jumping bikes. Other ways that I had fun, just hiking in the mountains, hanging out with friends, shooting slingshots and bows and arrows, and I don't know, just harvesting sticks and using them as swords and playing swords. Tree houses. Yeah, absolutely. Ton of tree houses. Spent a lot of time in tree houses and just hanging out in the bush, literally in big bushes, hanging out in big like plum trees. Yeah. Spending hours and hours just hanging out in plum trees. Inside plum trees, inside irrigation ditches. Oh man. Playing in the dirt. Yeah. Playing in the dirt, playing near streams, hanging out next to the water and I don't know, collecting ladybugs, collecting caterpillars, playing with the grasshoppers, playing with the ants. That's what I did. I played with insects a lot when I was a kid. I did that for fun. I played Nerf football. I would throw my football around. I I'd play basketball. Quite often, we'd have like basketball hoops around, attached to homes and above garages, stuff like that. And I'd sometimes eat fruit. I remember using salt shakers and putting salt on apples and eating the apples, sour apples. Man, those days were so idyllic. At least, when I think back on them, they were so idyllic. But I know that they weren't as idyllic as as they're presented in my brain. I know that there. I'm sure I had a lot of tough times. I just don't remember any of them. Like another thing I remember was listening to music. I remember having like a Sony tape deck, dual tape recorder, and listening to books on tape, listening to music recorded on tape, watching television, playing video games. I mean, almost everything I did, I had fun. I just enjoyed it. Making snowmen, playing out in the snow, licking icicles. I had a good time when I was young. Roller skating, playing video games, eating pizza. I mean, I had so much fun. You know, I kind of wish I could go back to those days. There's a part of me that would not mind going back. And the thing is, my life was so different back then, so radically different. So radically different from the way that I live life now. I mean, it's not that radically different, but at the time I had my family all around me, and it was a good family growing up. You know, the more I think about it, the more I want to return. I know, I know. I don't understand it either. What is it about human psychology that when I contemplate the past, it just draws me in. I just remember all the good parts. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm so glad to have had those experiences, though. And I hope that you're having those kind of experiences today. I hope that you're having an amazing time. And I assume that you are. I regretfully am not sharing those times with you. But maybe you watching this video and I can only imagine you asking a question of this kind of question of yourself in the future. And I can imagine you saying, "Oh, I really loved watching my dad make YouTube videos for me on YouTube." The shame. The shame. Oh, anyway. I do the best I can, girl. I invited you out last week to do something, and little interest there on your part. So I'll just keep asking, and we'll be able to share some time together soon, hopefully. Something, maybe share a conversation together. That would be nice. And I want to just get on with getting along, you know? Anyway, so I'm going to start wrapping up this video. I just wanted to say I've really enjoyed this time that we've shared together where, basically I have been reminiscing about some of my past, about things that I liked to do as a kid. And, one of these days we'll talk about the kind of things that I like to do now. But I pretty much always tell you about all that stuff, what I'm doing now and what I'm enjoying now. So you've probably already heard enough about that. So it's probably a good that we took a break and I get to spend some time describing what I liked when I was a kid. Turns out I liked a lot about being a kid, and that's wonderful. I'm glad that I had such an enjoyable childhood and that at least in some way I'm able to share those experiences with you by describing them to you in this forum, letting you know about what I enjoyed as a kid. Some of that stuff I might try to resurrect. Maybe I could start playing the trumpet again. No, no. Let me tell you, the trumpet is a hard instrument to play. It's not easy. And it's also loud. The only reason that I was able to play the trumpet so effectively was because I lived in a fairly rural part of New Mexico, where what that means is that you know what that means is that I had the great outdoors, so I could play my trumpet, and the sound would ring out across the land, across the agricultural fields, and nobody would hear. No one would hear except the cows and the horses. Um, and I also thankfully had a really nice dad had a parking garage, and above that garage he had another like small home, and that place was basically abandoned. And I spent a lot of time practicing trumpet in the room above the garage. And that in that place there was like nobody was there. I could play my trumpet as loud as I wanted and nobody would hear it. And so that was a lot of fun. Fact is, today there's no place that I could play a trumpet and as loud as I wanted. Like, if I had a trumpet now in my home, I would feel shy about playing it all the time because I have neighbors like to the left and to the down of me, to the side of me, to the beneath me. And even to this side, I've got neighbors with their doors open, and playing a trumpet would just be too loud. Just be too loud in this communal area that I'm in. In fact, I don't know where I would be able to play the trumpet. I would have to get a mute. The problem with the mute is that mutes, at least when you're playing trumpet, change things. They change a lot. The sound is really quite diminished, and it's honestly not as fun to play with a mute than an unmuted good trumpet. I know. I don't know why I feel that way, but playing with a mute is boring. Playing without a mute, oh, that's something special. But I could always learn to play a softer instrument like, say, a piano or a guitar. And, when I say piano, I mean a piano that is like a piano keyboard, like an electronic keyboard, keyboard where I can type it, so plug in some headphones and listen to my playing on the headphones only. Yeah, could definitely do something like that. Or I could just play guitar. I've got a ukulele, in fact. And the fact is, I actually don't play it that often. Music, I loved playing music, but it was never really um, my strong, uh, never really a strong skill that I had. I mean, I would always continuously become better, but the fact is, it's hard to squeeze music out of any kind of instrument, unless it's a digital electronic instrument like a synthesizer. Anyway, Emily, on that note, I want to close this presentation. I want to say thank you for joining me. I want to let you know that I love you very much. I'm here to support you in ways that you want to be supported. And so what that means is that I will continuously ask you for your permission. I do that out of respect. I do that out of a way that's how I honor your needs. I don't override. My feelings do not override yours. We act jointly, mutually, in partnership with one another. And that's not to say that I don't make lots of queries. I do my best to make as many queries as I can, inviting you into my life, welcoming you into any part of your life, into my life that you want, that you think that you can derive enjoyment from. And, I'll continue to do this, to be available, to make myself available as much as I can every day of the week, every hour of the day, and, basically do my best to be your dad and be your friend and be your supporter. And not only just be a supporter, but a sincere, devoted, committed, trusted supporter of you and your life and all your efforts. So, again, I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful day today and a wonderful week. Talk to you later. And happy St. Patrick's Day. I sent you a card, by the way.